forms of harassment he took was when he thought he might otherwise be videoed doing bad things in the garden. He took to taking pot shots with their rifle at stuff in the garden, and we've collected about 5 or 6 pellets that we actually collected.
7
pellets we collected in the garden at a place where, because of where everything else is, there's only one angle it could come from.
Yeah, and they're in your garden.
Yeah.
He's taking pot shots at you.
Yeah. Pot shots at the devices he didn't like.
So I literally have video of these attacks in progress.
Of him taking.
But the video isn't of him personally doing it, because
Pot shots.
Of the event.
Of pot shots.
Well, no, I don't call them pot shots. They were very, very well aimed.
It's just an expression I said.
Well, yeah.
A video of shots being fired.
Yes. I have 3 separate videos.
The devices. I mean, that also has already been covered by the criminal damage, but it's quite. It's more than just going and then damaging. That's actually potentially dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
it's a firearms offence.
Firearms offence. You fire an air gun pellet across your boundary. It's immediately an offence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a firearms offence, not anything else.
The officers who came to look, SNT level officers basically, looked at where they were, saw exactly the only place they could have come from, and said, it's not an offence, and walked away.
Right.
And we eventually got a firearms answer. It says there isn't enough evidence.
No, what they said was, because you did not see the gun, we cannot investigate, which of course is very offensive.
I think the difficulty we've got here, can I just I be frank in terms of the whole investigation, is that, and I'm a defence lawyer, remember, I'm not saying this to justify the actions of the police, but I'm saying that they have priorities. They also are completely swamped. They are swamped. I mean, they're not doing.
We realise this.
I mean, and so, in terms of taking up time, I mean, there are very, very serious allegations are just being shelved. So, you know, it's.
I accept that, but the point we made is that had someone talked to Jack severely enough in May of 2021, thousands of hours of officer time would not have been wasted. They've wasted it.
I can tell you that that's a very good point.
Yeah.
And that if things were dealt with in the first place, then but that's unfortunately the way the world goes sometimes. So let me just go through the interview now. As I said, there'll be. You spoke to the appropriate adult? Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Chat with her, and you briefed her.
I've told her about the medicine. The desk sergeant has insisted on taking it in as a thing.
They have to.
I know, but he is aware. He said there's a doctor in the premises, and that both the appropriate adult and in fact you will be able to see the moment he starts trembling at all.
Yeah.
In anyone else, it might just be nerves.
Yeah.
But with him, it's the beginning of the episode, and it needs to be stopped then.
Okay. And I will also alert the police to that at the beginning of the interview.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as regards the interview,
I mean, PC only if he's doing it, saw it in his own eyes, so he knows.
Twice. 2 different occasions.
What I would say in relation to the interview, let's just say it's going to be obviously a lengthy interview. I'm hoping the officer's just going to stick to the allegations, and you can add to. Do not. I think. I mean, I say obviously that.
What I've said to him is say nothing unless he's looked at you and you said you can answer.
Well, no, that's not really the case, because you need to, because he can't look at me anyway.
That's what I said.
Yes, that's right.
But we have to cover all the issues, and I'm hoping that they stick to the elements of harassment, and that you can cover them. You can cover the very specific allegations. So if they're talking about the specifics below the main source of stalking conduct by sonic alarms, you can explain why you have the sonic alarms. The gas safe, you can explain why you have the gas safe. The YouTube, you can explain the YouTube, and you can back it up, and they might. With regard to the CCTV, the other thing I haven't got to, cameras within the garden of Michael Hart pointed directly towards the kitchen area of Jack Connell's house. This amounts to harassment.
It's not true though.
Not true, okay.
Yeah, so
they've got the DVR with all the recordings, and they can see exactly what where it points. And they've seen endlessly police officers come and looked at them and said, yes, those are okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason why that camera exists specifically is because we said to Officer Young, look, if he starts firing at my stuff again, you're just going to say, I didn't see the gun.
Right.
So are you giving me permission to get evidence of him firing? And he said yes.
Okay, fine. Well, that we cover that, okay.
And that camera literally records the very, very edge of two windows where I believe he's firing from, for the express purpose of capturing that event if it occurs.
Right. Those elements, those windows, which you'll never be able to see them from outside anyway. Yeah.
And they've got blinds and stuff, haven't they?
And the electric fence, we've covered the age of the electric fence, we've covered the contacting social services, and we've covered the everything. So, and okay, there's incidents. Okay, so yeah, at the beginning of the interview, everybody introduces themselves, including myself, the appropriate adult. She'll be told that her role in this police station is to facilitate communication, which obviously you would be better at, but you are I do think you are potentially a witness. Having spoken to you, having seen it,
it's just that my reading of Pace was that the health and knowledge of medical condition overrode the victim, over the witness one.
I think
it's interpretation.
I understand that interpretation, but I think in this case, I think it's if I think the police would argue.
If you're comfortable with it, I'm comfortable with it.
The police would argue that there are adequate facilities to provide an appropriate adult.
But what you said is essentially from the moment Michael confirms that he is solely responsible for the videos and the devices, that element of their worry about me goes away.
Particularly, but we're not going to stop the interview in the middle.
No.
Because they may not believe it.
No, of course not.
It's not. It's, they may not believe it.
Yeah.
Because they want to spare his dad. You know what I mean?
It is one of the problems.
It's not proof.
It's just that almost every single policeman who's come, except for one or two, and with Jack Connell, have assumed that because Michael has the problems he has, he's also stupid and incapable.
Right? No.
And they immediately assume that anything that is too difficult for them to do, he can't have done. And it covers everything they've done.
No, because what's very apparent is the direct opposite.
Yeah.
That certainly, Michael, you are very conscious of very specifics, dates, and also in terms of precisely what happened.
Yeah, because it had an effect on me, and it still has an effect on me, so I'm not going to forget about it.
But also because you're not stupid, most of all, and you.
Well, I could be immense if I wanted to be, but yeah.
No, yes.
So if I go through that, so as I said, that's their role. We've been alerted to it in case there becomes the possibility of a
there was
anxiety attack.
There was another thing we haven't quite covered. I mean, since there was this counter allegation of my supposed ubiquitous surveillance of them, I have got many videos of Mr. Connell just randomly filming things in my garden, looking for things which he can complain about.
Right.
I've got a video of him literally stalking me, literally hiding at the end of his garden, literally poking his head up, taking photographs of me working, and I have an email chain that he then sent to someone next door saying, this guy isn't blind, look, he's a platitude, all these things. So I know that exists, we have a copy of it. I mean, my surveillance is completely legal within every possible bounds within my ability to make it so. For reasons which are clearly stated. His surveillance is just to create fear and alarm harassment.
So we did passive surveillance, and then the tape recordings or retained recordings of stuff that need to be taken. He was going actively out to record.
Okay. So when you say the CCTV doesn't always record, does it?
No,
but
it overwrites itself all the time.
No, it's got a 24-hour buffer.
Yeah, they all do,
yeah. But that is obviously required. Otherwise, by the time you see it, it's too late. Yeah. So there is a continuous loop of about 24 to 48 hours, but it is not looked at. It's in a safe. I mean, all the proper physical security stuff's been taken care of because, I used to do the job.
So can I just go back to the interview because I think
we're
getting bogged down a bit. Before the officer can ask you any questions, he'll have to tell you how to continue right to legal advice. Can you stop the interview and point to speak to me? Before they can interview you, they have to caution you. The same thing. The caution is, I'm sure you understand it. But the caution is you do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence.